So this conversation will focus on how brands can move beyond mere products to tell stories that connect emotionally with audiences. It'll guide us on how to create an appealing brand by crafting authentic product narratives rooted in provenance, that is, from the origin itself, and translating those stories into powerful visual displays. And to lead this session, we have with us a dynamic moderator, Ms. Aarti Roy, brand strategist, retail innovator, and founder of the Creators Guild India, with over 20 years of experience spanning branding, retail, product strategy, and design-led growth across major global companies. Ms. Roy has helped build scalable, culturally rooted businesses positioned for international success. Her insights into storytelling strategy and the evolving design ecosystem make her the perfect voice to guide today's discussion. So let's welcome on stage our moderator, Aarti Roy. A big round of applause for her. Joining her on the panel are four distinguished experts who work, effortlessly, and they've been working for many, many years. Mr. Gunnar Hofrichter, independent consultant from Hamburg, Germany, is here with us. With over 20 years of experience in strategy, product development, and visual merchandising, Gunnar has worked with leading European brands. His analytical and creative approach has driven innovation and category development across markets. Can we have him on stage, please? Welcome. Let's hear it for Gunnar. Big round of applause for him. Joining us also is Mrs. Anupama Singh, independent consultant, trained in art and design in Paris. She brings global perspective and decades of experience through her work with Indian Touch, a premier buying agency known for excellence, authenticity, and innovation. Her expertise bridges design, craft, and community development, shaping both products and narratives. Can we have Anupama ji on stage, please? Welcome. Bertrando Di Renzi from Le Ottoman CEO. He is the CEO of this. Bertrando Di Renzo, please join us on stage. With over 15 years of experience in marketing and brand strategy, Bertrando has worked with international companies across fashion and design sectors. He specializes in branding, business development, and strategic communication, fostering creative collaborations that redefine luxury. Welcome in the panel. And we will also be joined, last but not the least, by Mr. Ashish Tagra, founder of A Good Life. A brand strategist and creative director, Ashish is celebrated for creating purpose-driven brands that blend design thinking with emotional resonance. As founder of A Good Life, he translates storytelling into refined aesthetics and relatable brand experiences. Welcome. So it's an exceptional lineup, and we are eagerly awaiting the panel to start their discussions. Over to the moderator, Aarti Roy.
Hello, am I audible? Okay. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. And I'm completely honored to have this, exceptional panel mix here. And we're looking forward to some very exciting discussions. Having spent about over 2 decades in India in product and retail, this is a discussion very, very close to my heart. And I'm really looking forward to what the panelists bring to the table. Because while India has such a no dearth of product and craft and skills, sadly, we still look to the world to guide us into what we should be doing from a design or a branding lens. How can that change is something that we would love to hear from our panelists. So thank you once again. And Bertrando, if I may, we'd love to hear your views on this, on the brand Lay Ottomans, which he's built, and we'd love you to have a look at the Instagram page of the brand and see how exceptional it is.
Hello, welcome, and thank you for being here. So this is, no, it's not going. I wanted to show, well, my company, so it's called Les Ottomans. It's a company I founded about 11 years ago. Well, first of all, I'm Bertrando Di Renzo, and I'm the founder, also creative director, and for many years I was, like a one-man show in Les Ottomans, let's be honest. Because like every small brand that starts, my company is only 11 years old. At the beginning, you have to take care of everything. So I made a small presentation just to show the development of my brands and just to give you like, my story, that it cannot be yours or it will never be yours, but just to give you an idea how I made it and where I brought my brand, where it is nowadays. First of all, it's important to explain, everybody's asking me why, being Italian, you call the company Les Ottomans with a Turkish heritage and in French. I know it's a little bit confusing, but at the time I created Les Ottomans, I was living in Turkey, in Istanbul. And also, as you can see, I made the presentation like in steps, because my company follows some developing steps, because I wanted to. I didn't want to rush things, especially at the beginning. Also for monetary reason, because I didn't have enough money to grow and to get big very quick, so I decided to go little by little. And so as you can see, the first years of Les Ottomans were focused mostly on textile. So, but not usual textile. As I was telling you, at that time I was living in Istanbul, and I was doing also another job, because I come from marketing, and I was a consultant at that time for some very important companies. Not in the design business, not in the handicraft business. It was mostly industrial business. So I discovered this kind of Ihgf fabrics that are hand-loomed in Uzbekistan. And at that time, they were sold in Istanbul, and nobody was using them the proper way. So there was just another company, we are talking 12 years ago, 11 years ago, that actually was doing Ihgf cushions. So I really loved them, and I thought that there was an opportunity there to do something interesting with this colorful and all of these patterns. So I decided to give it a shot. So honestly, I took whatever I had in the bank, and I decided to open my own company. It was a risk, but it was a risk worth taking. Especially the risk was mostly due to the fact that when I created Les Ottomans, the trend in the world was the minimalism. And as you can see, my company is everything except minimalistic. I love patterns, I love colors, and I'm a overlaid maximalist. If there is a step forward maximalism, that's me. So I decided to take a chance, and I start, introducing this company, introducing these products in the market. I have to be honest with you, probably I filled the gap that I knew that it was there, and it worked. It worked quite fast, and I was exhibiting in some shows, in Paris, in London, in New York. At the beginning, I was doing more shows than I do nowadays. And, these products were quite successful very quickly. Even though for some people it was still difficult to understand how to manage, these colors, while the market was pushing them mostly to gray and taupe. But, I didn't care, I'm honest with you. So this, for example, was my first booth in a stand, that one. I mean, it was really handmade, as you can see. You will see the evolution also in there. And these were the shootings I was taking at that time. So for a few years, so I just did, the Ihgf, and I was doing a lot of things with Ihgf. And then I decided that, I need to develop, because I thought that if I stayed just with textile and cushions, my market possibilities was very limited, so I needed to go further. And so the first things I thought was tabletop, and I decided to do this kind of Ihgf plates, actually. The idea was just to reproduce on the plates the patterns that I had in the fabric. It was a total unsuccessful product, I have to be honest with you, because we cannot say everything that is successful. At the beginning, nobody wanted to buy this. I still remember the first exhibition I exhibited these products. I only sold 24 pieces, believe me, 24. And, but I didn't give up, because I always thought that if I like them, somebody else would like them too. So I couldn't be the only one in the world to think this was a good idea. And honestly, so I stuck to it, and it took like a couple of years because it worked. And for many years was one of my most successful collections. Mostly because when, let's say, the market, and mostly the fashion market, started to work with colors and patterns, that then also the home market followed. But I was already doing this, so I was already there. It was not something new for me. And that was for me the biggest opportunity, because I didn't have to create something new. People already knew that I was doing this, so they came to me knowing that I was able to make it. So the thing is, for me, and this is something that I always do to the small companies that approach me when I'm around, is really, the idea is never to give up to your ideas, because the market is not so fast in receiving them. They need time, you need time. You also need time maybe to improve your original idea before you go to the new one. But still, if you follow just what sells and what doesn't, this is not always a good choice, because that means we only follow the trends that are on the market. We are not creating anything new, because the newness is what, for me, the newness is what really made the difference. And if I can say my brand is as popular as it is nowadays, it's because they knew that I always bring something new to my clients. So then after, I make it fast, because there are many people here talking. Then if you have questions, you can discuss. The step forward was, okay, I did this, the company is going well, not as well, as I would expect, I wanted to do. And I was still not in the shops I was aiming to, because that's also the hardest part when you have a brand where you want to sell. I knew what I wanted to have, because my product was not cheap. By the way, all the tabletop was handmade in Italy. So of course, the price point is still very high. So I decided that I need to find some designers to work with me. So I choose to cooperate with designers for two reasons mostly. One is because, especially when the company is starting, the fame and the designer, the name of the designer can help you to be on the spot. And the second thing is because if we focus only on our point of view in a brand, we can stuck after a while. So I always want to bring new ideas to my brand. I always see like my brand is like an incubator of ideas. So honestly, I always look for projects that designers ask me to look at, because you never know. I work with famous designer, I work with famous designer, I work with unknown designers, as long as the idea was good. But it's always good to look at people that can give a good and a fresh and a good look to what you're doing. This is, for me, has been important. So as you can see here, there are two designers where I work. One is called Servomuto, that are very famous in Italy for shades. They work with top names in the especially interior design world. And then Marco Parmigiani, that is also a very famous interior designer in Italy. And we do this collaboration with Murano glass and, like rugs and carpets. And then Vito Nesta is it's a friend of mine, it's a designer. We made probably what is my best sold collection, that is the one here on the right, that is called Costantinopoli. And this is like a line of tableware. We made 5 collections with Vito. These are just 2 of them. And the other one was about the Maharaja. It was a starting project of the Silk Road that from India was going to Italy, going through, Uzbekistan, Venice, and other cities. But we just stopped to India. It never developed because, then we didn't have a nice idea to move on. But, it's still a work in progress. And then the most famous probably is Matthew Williamson. Matthew, it's a very famous designer. He comes from fashion. And then he gave up fashion and he started his own wear design. So we met in Maison Objet in Paris. Actually, he saw my stuff because Matthew point of view is very colorful. So he just made a simple post in Instagram saying, my favorite stand in Maison Objet And I took the chance to write to him and say, well, as you like it so much, would you like to work with me and cooperate? And he said yes. So we've been working together now for 8 years, and we made at least 6 or 7 collections together. And yeah, I can say that if I'm now in Harrods, it's probably thanks to Matthew Williamson, because in the UK it's very, very known. So the first collection that Harrods bought from me was Matthew Williamson collection. And then, you know, we move on with them. And then Patch New York, that is a company based in New York. They also worked with Astier de Villat, John Darien, and other companies. So this is to show, you know, the development of my presentations, let's say. So for me, you know, when you have a brand, the point of view, your unique point of view is what makes the difference. My company is known to be a little bit different from what you see around, because, you know, I've been one of the first to use mix and match on table and everywhere. I was one of the first to do like, to mix pattern and to do like this over maximalist things. And also because probably I think I have quite a different point of view what I can see around me. And also I always bring new things on the market. So that also I have to reflect how do I present my things. So just to give you an idea, the first 2 pictures over there is some showcase that I did at Salone del Mobile in Milano, where I normally take an entire apartment, I emptied it, and I redecorate my own style. So these are just 1 rooms, but there are 6 more rooms that I totally redecorated. And this one is in Decorex in London, where I was invited 3 years ago to have my own space and to create my own things. So I asked some other companies to give me a wallpaper, to give me the furniture and everything, and I just did the decoration with my own stuff. Because also collaborations are important, because, you know, it's not, it doesn't have to be everything about us. It can also be us and somebody else, you know? I always say, when I sell my table lines, for example, to clients, I say, you don't need to buy everything from Les Ottomans. You can have also something you already have. I mean, your mother's, your grandmother's, or what you bought. Just mix it up with what I have. Or just, you know, little by little get fond of it. Because, you know, first of all, it's less scary, and it's also less expensive for them. And then, you know, here you have more presentations. This is another Salone del Mobile. This is another event in Milano. This is a Maison Objet. This is the kind of table, you know, presentation that I do, you know. And this is where I am now. You know, these are the last, actually this is the last shooting that I did 2 weeks ago in Puglia for my new fall-winter collection and the Christmas collection, because I also do seasonal collection. I do a summer collection and I do a Christmas collection, and sometimes I also do a Ramadan collection. So I love to showcase everything in a very proper way, because I also think that sometimes it's also our responsibility to give the clients the idea how your products have to be showcased, you know, which is the best way to show them to the public. And the better, you know, the more ideas you give, the better they do it. Then they can learn also by themselves. But sometimes it's better if we tell them how to make it, because that will help them do it. And that's all. And then, you know, there is my Instagram, and then I also have a YouTube that I did, my YouTube channel, where you can work like that. So just to give you, just to close, you know, this small presentation, when I was asked, you know, advices how to make, which is that, you know, my experience, and, you know, when I started my brand. Honestly, when I started Les Ottoman, I didn't know which direction the company was going. Everything happened, you know, in a very, I would say, smoothly, but also controlled way. As I told before, even at the beginning, for example, the first time that I came here in India, it was, I think, 2018 and 2019 that I came to the fair. I wanted to buy many things, but honestly, I didn't have enough money to buy more of the stuff that I wanted, because the MOQs were very high, and also because I was not sure that I was able to sell them. So I needed to have a structure before. I needed to have also people to help me. You know, in my company, we are like 8 people at the moment. Plus, I have 7 agents around the world that sells my products. And before, you know, do the next step. So this was very important for me, probably because I was coming from marketing. I had the knowledge, looking at many companies
Bertrando?
that, you know, were very high, very fast.
Hi. I actually just had a question.
Yeah.
Because your journey is very inspiring, to be coming from a marketing background and
Yes.
then putting everything behind what you believe in, all your
Yes.
savings and everything, and coming out with something which is not already there.
Yes.
So the risk-taking ability to show something that you believe in,
Yes.
immaterial of the fact that there is no trend currently talking about it.
No.
And you ended up eventually creating a trend because
Yes.
the color really
Most
picked up.
probably, yes.
It was very interesting to see the collections, and from the Maharajas to the Ihgf patterns to
Yes.
very, very diversified work. If we were to say, what does Le Ottoman stand for? What is your brand promise to the customer? What is the expectation you have set? What might that be?
So first of all, it's quality, because I think we don't have to compromise with quality. My products, 95% of my products are handmade. So I don't do industrial production, very little of them. I have about 40 suppliers around the world. Most of them are in Italy and in India. And then I have something in Portugal and something in Vietnam. But for me, quality is very important. So when they buy something from me, they know what they get. And they know that it's something that can last. They also know that there will be something they don't find in the market. That is also very important. Because, that's also, of course, we get inspirations from everywhere, from fashion, from what you see around you and like this. But I think we have also to stick to our ideas, and we have to create our own world. Right. So for me, actually, also when I sell to stores, I always sell, when you sell Les Ottomans, you have to sell a word. You don't sell a product. Mine, it's a full word. It's a word made of colors. It's a word made of whatever you want to go in. Everybody gets a piece of what I want to give them. It's impossible to have everything, because everything is in my mind and I don't even know what I think in somebody sometimes. But I always sell, and also we'll have the sales. Sure. The more the better, because when you're so over the top, you have to go over the top.
Agree.
Yes,
agree,
and
completely.
so I think people expect this from me, and expect newness, and expect, not copies. That's right. The biggest challenge companies have to face nowadays. Stop copying, please. Yes. Also me, stop copying me.
Innovating constantly. Well, thank you so much,
Thank you
Bertrando.
to
That
you.
was really,
Thank
really
you.
enlightening. Thank you for the evening. Anupama, if you would, love to hear your thoughts. So it's so exciting to hear the journey of a new brand and what all it takes, the conviction, the passion, and like Bertrando literally said, he's sharing a piece of his vision with you all to pick and constantly innovating on that. There is nothing rigid holding it back, constantly innovating and allowing you to pick, what you see. Yeah. So yeah, great. Yes, Anupama.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so proud to be here today amongst all of you who are designers, CEOs, inventors, and a lot of people I see from the NID. So it's a great privilege for me to be here today. And I want to talk to you because for me, I have worked in this domain, in this industry, in this handicraft, gift and furniture industry for 30 years. And for me also, this is my 60th fair that I'm attending. So I think it's a big landmark for me. And I would like to say that this time I am very happy to see the changes that have happened. The booths are better. The furniture is very, innovative, a lot of new designs. People are getting, the exporters are really following the market and seeing the new trends, and that's very heartening. Let's talk about exploring the maker to market journey. I know what a maker feels. Because when I was young and I used to go and sit with the artisans and work on a collection with them, it was with the maker that I would sit. The artisan, the कारीगर, उनके साथ बैठ के काम होता था. और वो हैं जो अपने कला में pride लेते हैं. They take pride in their own work. So what does a maker want? A maker wants appreciation. They say, yes, बहुत अच्छा बना है. They want कि वो बिके. Otherwise, you don't complete the circle. Then the manufacturer, the exporter will have to sell it. So the product needs a lot of strength, as he said, in quality, in other things. Now for India, we have a great richness of handicrafts and arts in India. So those are our strengths, and we have to build upon it. We have to see that our arts are inculcated in our new designs. Let's take the story of maybe this kala which they are doing. So that is one of our buyers who have transformed this into what new products taken from our earth, from our हमारी मिट्टी से जो बना है, जो हम कला करते हैं, उससे जो हमने advancement किया है. For example, take the story of the paper mache. Kashmir में paper mache होता था, how it is developed, how the delicate Persian designs were copied, and it was just small giftware. Today you see the same paper mache in lamps, in shades, in so many different products with new technology. So we have to upgrade our strengths into a commercial market. So we have to go from our handicrafts. But what is our strength? We have a few strengths. We have handmade product. We have different materials. We have brass from Moradabad, metal, cane, you name it, hand-woven textiles. जो मैंने पहना है ये गमछा से बना है. You know a gamcha which the Assamese wear, and they use it to wipe their faces, and they use it for tie their heads and everything. So how can we develop from a gamcha to a sari? So I think there's so much we can do. And we don't have to, as Mr. Bachandra said very nicely, we don't have to copy. We have to be original in our thinking. So let's talk about what we need. As he said, we need designers. We have lots of young designers, and we have to inculcate them in our industry. Today, handicrafts is an industry. We have lot of design schools. I have not seen even one intern in this field. We need to have interns working with us to give us new ideas. We need to expose them to the foreign markets. Our exporters have now started going to Maison, to so many different fairs, High Point, and it is just amazing what our country can do.
If I may add to it, I think besides what the country brings to the table from a craft perspective, today the technology is so advanced with AI coming in and literally ruling our lives. What seemed very difficult to conceptualize, imagine, explore is easy on our fingertips right now. I mean, my firm also runs a design and brand consulting piece, and we worked with a few exporters during the last IIGH. The designs could have been comparable with anywhere in the world because you feed in the right prompts and you feed in the right inspiration. Tech will turn around what nobody has seen before, cannot be imagined. It is there physically sitting in front of you in a digital mode. But do we have the capability or the skill to now execute it into a real product? We couldn't. So the skill development, one is the vision to think and innovate product, and second is to be able to convert it to a commercially viable, saleable product as well. So the execution, and we were doing terracotta.
Yes.
We couldn't do terracotta.
Right.
Because the artisans were so used to creating commodity products to a buyer's brief that they have all lost the ability to create. Very sad.
That is true. I think terracotta is a very good example, but it is from Bihar, and we had the Bankura horse, and we had these our indigenous designs. But yes, I think we can take these kind of projects much further. Now we can make them waterproof. We can do so many other
No,
things with them.
you see the interpretation of Ihgf that Bertrando was able to
Yes,
do.
absolutely.
He's not even an
Absolutely.
Indian.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the ability to pick from across a mixed portfolio and create a look and vision because you're passionate in it, you believe in it. That's
Absolutely.
what it takes.
And that's what we need to do. We need to believe in our own product, and we need to believe in our own art and culture and authenticity. Also, I feel we have a lot of challenges because we work in the export market. We have a buying house called Indian Touch. We do sourcing, we do designing, we do consultancy work, and we have a lot of challenges. You are all mostly exporters here, so I would like to address this problem, is that we have, as he said, quality issues. Every time we have quality issues. Now we have a lot of buyers who've told us how we have to do the lean method so we are not wasting our time on things which are not required. So we have to come up where we can do our exports without so many problems that we're having now. We don't want chargebacks. No exporter wants chargebacks. And the sales. You can see 70% of the vendors struggle with quality control. 50% of the buyers experience supply chain delays. As we were talking earlier, so much delays. Nowadays, we give our exporters even 100 days production time, 130 days production time. Where are we heading? No way anyone is going to wait so long. We have Diwali, then we have monsoons, then it's too cold sometimes, and sometimes it's too hot. So we have to make our infrastructure better. We have to make our supply chain better. And of course, we have to make our product transparent. Where is our wood coming from? We don't want to cut our forests and have problems in environment issues later. So we must follow the specifications that the government asks us to follow. It's very important. But our biggest advantage here is that we are a warm nation. What is happening in the world? The world is becoming hotter. The climate is changing. I remember when I was studying in Paris, if it was 27 degrees, it was a holiday because it was the best day of the year. But today the temperatures are reaching up to 38 degrees. And they need to learn from us how they can use a durry instead of a carpet, or they can use hand-woven fabric which soaks your perspiration, or they can use, we have to work on our sustainability, on our basketry, on our cane work. We have lots of things coming in, but we need technology. We have to give back to whatever we are doing. We have to give back to our society. I tell my exporters, I said, please come to me for designs. I'll give you designs. I don't want to charge you. I'm ready to give you. But then my merchandisers say, ma'am, they won't make it. They don't have time. I said, please, tell them they'll show it there and they will get buyers. So our exporters have to work on their roots, give back to their company. That is how we'll grow.
Yeah.
And we have a great way forward. I think we have lots of advantages. And as he said, made in India should be like made in Italy. I'll always go and buy a sweater made in Italy. Why? Because I know it's a good quality. That is what made in India should be. And our government is doing a lot. We have skill development classes now. We have so many projects for artisans. We train them, we skill them. I have done a lot of projects with the Ministry of Textiles. We go to remote areas, work with the artisans,
And also, if I
make
may
new products.
interrupt,
Yeah,
I
sure.
think there is so much merit in having an upgraded product by making the right investments in it, be it on with the respect to design, be it with respect to quality, because you can really upcharge. But Rando and I were just discussing,
yes.
if you have a great product and a unique product, you will find the buyer, and on top of that, you can charge a premium for it because you are the only one in the market who's offering it.
Yeah.
Right? And that is the way forward should you want to make your own brand as well. Because we are talking here about maker to market. How could you be into the market yourself without having to rely on orders written by somebody else? That will need a distinct vision. That will need investments in the right places early on.
Absolutely.
Some clear vision behind the brand, and then consistency to be able to stick with it. So Gunnar here is a professional here, and we'll hear him in a while. To guide how our brand's built. What are you doing wrong, and how can you, from a manufacturer, step into actually being a brand owner, where your margins jump 4x, 6x. It depends on you. I mean, we have interesting cases in point within the EPCH forum itself. The previous chairman, Mr. Bed, being one of the largest exporters out of India, also having a brand which has a very clear handwriting in the name of Elementary, and being successful with both. So, only thing it takes is a lot of vision and commitment. Yes?
Thank you very much. It's been such a pleasure being here with you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anupam. Thank you. A veteran in the design and textile world, we have a very young fellow, an year old into his own passionate venture, which is around sustainability. Ashish would love to hear you.
Hi everyone. Hope you are having a good day. So this is Ashish, and it's an honor to be here. And I want to thank the entire APCS team for inviting me here and giving me this opportunity to speak to you in front of you, give some important lessons that I learned in my journey. So, just a second. So I am the founder of A Good Life. A Good Life is basically a soulful, holistic brand that I have recently started. And our sole purpose is to transform industrial waste food into home decor items, beautiful home decor items. And we are, I think, one of the first kind who are using industrial waste, which is just pine wood, just wood, and not even Indian wood. We are using Canadian and New Zealand wood to convert them into smaller and like mid-size home decor items. So these industrial waste have already been discarded by different industrial zones, especially this Okhla, this Noida, the Sitkul industrial zone. So we are taking all the raw materials, all the discarded woods from there. And again, as I said, we are converting them into beautiful home pieces. Besides that, if you should all know that I have been a founder of a design agency. I had helped multiple brands scale up their identity, have converted their vision into reality in actually visual merchandising terms, in terms of branding, how to enhance their brand. And I had the honor to work with some of the reputed brands and some micro startups as well. And that is how my journey has been over 15 years. And here I am. I'm going to jump to next thing. So these are some of the products that we have been doing. These are completely recycled products. I would not say it's greenwashing because it's not that we are not making any real impact. We are making 100% real impact. All the wood is industrial waste. Nothing is commercially sourced from the market. All industrial waste, handmade process, 100% handmade process, and we are able to create such products that are in front of you.
These are your own products?
Yeah, these are all our products. We have all made these products, and like we do two categories of products. One is a smaller product, so that anybody can just buy and experiment on how the feel and look of the product is. And we also have some mid-size products like cabinets, wall decor, wall shelves, all those kinds of things. So one important point I should also tell you about this, we have come up with a new technology or a technique, you can say, because this pine wood is a very soft wood. So it is not really used in India. It's not even grown here in India. So we have, like from our own research, what we found is that there are no competitive brands that we are finding it here. You know, we could be one of the few first, or maybe the first ones who are doing this, and that's why it has its own exclusivity from the product dynamics, and also our purpose of transforming the industrial waste into making these products. So these two things are really important for us. These are kind of our core that we want to proceed with. So I think enough said about our brand, and we should hang back to our topic, because I have been into branding, I have been into designing for over 15 years, and I want to talk about what actually you are selling. You know, so from makers to market perspective, I think we have enough guests. Ms. Anupama has spoken about a beautiful visual merchandising approach, and Mr. Bernardo has spoken about his beautiful journey. So I am going to speak about the foundation of it, which is the core narrative, decoding the brand. So I actually want everyone to consider this question in their head, that what are you actually selling? You know, if you think you are actually selling one product, that's not the real question. The question is, why are you selling it? You know, why does it matter? What kind of an impact is it making to the consumer, to the society? You know, for us, we are doing sustainable things. We are doing 100% sustainable things. It's making an impact. We are sure of that. But what is your brand making a change? To you as a company, profitability. To a consumer, usability. And to, as a whole, you live in society, what impact it is bringing to the society. You consider those 3 points in your head and ask yourself this question, that why does it matter? That's the core. That's the foundation of every brand. We do startups, we make brands, but we are left. We don't understand that we have to understand its core, so that the process becomes easier for us in terms of visual merchandising, in terms of our operation, in terms of what we are speaking to you in front of you. What does your brand stand for? That's the alternate way to look at it. Moving on, it's the same question, just from a different perspective. You see, there are thousands and thousands of products in the market. Thousands of products. And I would not say they are not creative. They are very creative, highly creative. People have been doing amazing work. Look around, you know. But what will make you stand? Because everybody is making a noise, you know. Nobody is telling their journey. Nobody is telling their story. You make creative products. Good, very nice, you know. And India is a pool of creativity. There are so many crafts here in India, you know. Fusing them with Western crafts, innovating them in a different way. You come up with different products, newer products every day. But everything is just a noise if it is in a crowd. So you have to stand out of that crowd, and that is what I'm discussing. That's the core. How are you actually decoding the brand narrative? That's the real question, and that's the real answer we'll be discussing moving from here. So as we spoke, that we are here to understand your brand core narrative, and how do you do that, you know? It all sounds fancy in words कि अच्छा मेरा brand ये है, like हम लोग ये करते हैं, we have a good quality, we have a good product, our products are very creative. We are able to take some good orders on that as well. We have good buyers, we have good relationships. Everything is sorted, everything is there. But sometimes brands are struggling to scale. They are not understanding why they are not going from 0 to 100, or 0 to 80. They are moving forward. They are making profits every year, from 0 to 50, 0 to 60. But from 60 or 50, that stage gets stagnant. That gets stagnant because you are not clear on your message, on what your journey is all about. So I think the best way for that to scale above 50 or that 60% is to really understand what does the brand stand for. That's the real question. And how do we do that? Is by looking deep inside you. Why did you start that brand? What kind of a story or what kind of a values are you providing your consumer? आप जिस भी अपने client को आप या customer को you are selling your product, what he is getting out of it, that's the important question. In a marketing, there's a simple saying. You say, "Ki customer is the king." Customer is the king. So understand your customer's thought, what he's trying to tell you, why he is buying from you. Just understanding that is actually cracking down your brand core narrative. So, like they say, if you are starting up something new, your first 100 customers are actually your product innovators. They will tell you, okay, we want this, we want that. They're actually telling you what kind of product they like, what kind of a story they want. Now, with your vision, your brand's core narrative, you combine that product value, and then you provide it to your consumer. It's that easy. Just that you have to move in the right direction, and I think we get sorted with the brand's core narrative. So, sorry, yeah.
I'm just going to wake up the audience a little bit. Any brand owners here? Or all exporters? Okay. Anybody wanting to create your own brand in the audience? Okay, that's nice. Young people, all young people, very nice. Very nice. Okay, good. So we have another young advisor who's been through the grind himself. So go on, Ashish.
Yes.
Keep waking them up.
I think I should crack a joke, but I have not prepared any jokes for you, so please crack some jokes in your head yourself, and then we can come back and start again. Yeah? Okay, so I think I'll make it a little casual. So I was talking about storytelling. So like everybody has their own story when they start a brand. Like few people pick up their hands, they want to start their brand. So you have to actually look into yourself, what are you passionate about? You can pick up an industry, but what drives you is actually the core. Once you crack the core, your brand gets successful even before you start it. That's the main idea here. So, sorry?
Saying also there should be a market for it. I mean, we
Yes.
could be passionate about plenty things, but
Yes.
we need to be sure that there is a market for it.
So actually, in that terms, there are two ways it works. You build a brand with the demand in the market, and you also build a brand with aspirational value. That market doesn't exist. That's even more challenging, but that can become even better, like more successful in that terms, because you are tapping into a market that doesn't even exist. So it works both ways, but obviously it's somebody's choice to pick like that. But you have to have a good story. Your journey is your story, and the values you communicate to your audience, even to yourself, you tell कि आपका brand किसके लिए stand करता है. You are going to do sustainable. You are going to have a sustainable approach. You are going to have a community to be promoted in particular. That's your journey. That's something people want to relate to. So that's really important. That whatever values you have to be able to communicate to others. So once you are able to do that, you have cracked the brand narrative. You are a good storyteller. You know about your journey. You will not divert from your own path, and you are able to communicate those values to somebody else. Because once you are able to communicate those brand narratives, the customer, the person in front of you wants to reshare, and that's like a silent salesperson for you.
Yeah, I'll like to give an example here.
Yeah.
So in the course of our consulting, somebody approached us who were into apparel, and they said that, we've tried so many marketing agencies, and none of them is able to bring a difference to our business. So can you recommend someone? I was like, it's a very, I can't answer just like that without knowing what your product is. So I did go back and study their brand website. It was traditional Indian block prints on traditional Indian silhouettes of kurtas on a website which had nothing to do with even earthy tones and shot on clearly their own family members. That was the banner of the website. So I did tell them that, nobody can market for you if you do not have a clear reason for why you should be marketed. What should one talk about you to even take you to customer? Right? So what he's talking about, a clear founding vision of why building a brand is a headache. Anybody who's not committed into it should not even go anywhere near it. So if you start, then like Bertando, you are in it for 11 years, you're pushing, some things fall right, some things fall wrong, and suddenly, some big name gets associated and you take a leap. But till then, you have to really stay in the grind.
Yeah.
And you have to know why you are existing, why you are doing this. So if you yourself do not have any committed vision, there is no way to sustain.
As Aarti said, why is the big question.
Yes,
You have
absolutely.
to have an answer to your why, and
Absolutely.
everything gets
Yes.
sorted, That's,
So-
keep asking that. Again, you
Absolutely.
don't have to stop. Keep asking that.
Absolutely.
So now, like in the same scenario, I would want to say that when I say storytelling, it could be as simple as that, but it is really, really powerful. I have handled so many brands, and I have seen brands who are doing storytelling and who are not doing it. So there is a big difference, Big difference in the client retention, big difference in the loyalty of the clients who are coming back, big difference in having a loyal customer who is ready to pay a premium price for your product. Somebody will pay a premium price if you like a product and if you understand their journey. And a beautiful, a pretty, a creative product works well. You can give competitive pricing and sell it. But if you want a premium on top of it, communicate your story, communicate your journey, communicate your processes. All that makes a big impact in your buyers, in your client's head. And once they do, then price is never an issue. Like many people, I think, face this challenge that they have to do competitive pricing, Why do you have to competitive pricing? You communicate your journey. That's an easy answer to that.
But for that, you have to have a journey to communicate.
Yes, and that also happens when you crack your core narrative. Before
Yes,
that, you will not know anything like that. So the ultimate idea is to understand, like when you work on yourself, you go deeper, you work on your soul. So it's like your company is the soul. Your brand narrative is the soul of your company. So you have to work on that.
Can we wrap up in 5 minutes?
Yes,
have
we are
a-
just on the last thing. So, idea is to overall convert this transaction into a relationship, nothing far beyond. And I think I will just stay focused on that. I think you can take a screenshot. It's very just said, be on your approach, be transparent, be authentic to your purpose, communicate clearly. They are the important things anybody should follow in the journey. I think, thank you so much. I have taken a lot of your time. Sorry,
Thank
Aarti.
you, Ashish. Thank you. Gunnar, I'd have a question for you. You are an expert in the European market, and we have a lot of Indian exporters sitting here. So in your experience, what is of primary importance if we try to bridge the gap between brand philosophy and buyer engagement, especially from a international purview?
First of all, it is what you already have said, that you need to have a vision, you need to know what drives you, what makes the difference, and what is the purpose, the reason for being. Yeah, this must be clearly, the whole process must be done. Then we spoke about quality, we spoke about being authentic, we spoke about all this needs to be taken care of. For me, one of the most important things, and some of you know me already, you need to believe. And if you fall, which will happen, you told us about it, you need to stand up again. Only then you can be making the difference. So it is about passion. Yeah, if you're not passionate, I mean, we've seen so many passionate people today over here. And honestly, when you ask me from an international point of view, what I'm sometimes missing over here, coming to India, working with factories in different production hubs, coming to the fair, I want to see and I want to feel more of your passion. Indians are very passionate, but not only when it comes to Holi or Diwali or any festivals or whatever, I want to see more passion in your product development. I want to see innovation. I want to see not copies as you mentioned, yeah? Explore, travel, explore, invest into machinery so that skills are done, so that you can create something which is in the core, on your mind, so that you can be different from all your competition. Yeah, without passion, it will not happen. If you're not passionate, you will not make it, in my opinion. Yeah, and I want to see more of that when I come to the fair, when I come to the showrooms, when I work with, I want to see not only the creativity and the skills India has, but I want you to do it with passion.
So what in your mind would signify passion? Because there is a very clear distinction between how India sees things, how we see pattern, how we see color, how we see form, versus the European or American markets. So how does one bridge this gap?
Well, you need to do your homework. You need to travel. You need to look at what is happening in the market. What are the trends? But for me, it is not enough just to follow a trend. There's not only a trend, and you have actually created something on your own. And this is, again, it comes down to the core. It comes down to your vision. What is the material if I'm an exporter? What is my strength? What do I believe in? What can I do better than other people? And then you need to build on that. So it's believing, it's exploring, it's creating, but doing it. I want to see more innovation when I come over here. Yes, the fair is improving, but I think we need to work harder, especially in these demanding times, so that we can really make India even better, larger, more visible, using our creativity, putting passion to it, and create something unique, and a concept. That is also one important thing. A concept will always beat the single individual product. So don't put, if I come back to my visual merchandising experience, don't put the maximum amount of products into your booth or into your showroom or onto your website, but do it with a purpose, whether it is sustainability or whether it is something unique which you are creating. So curate your products, put it together nicely so that they become visible as a concept. A concept which will offer a solution for your customer, so that they do not need to go to XYZ different places, but they can rely on you because of quality, because of creativity, because of passion, and because of a concept approach. Exactly.
I think this is something that we are hearing repeatedly, that put your customer first. So rather than waiting for your customer to think through a complete exercise and then come back with briefs to you for you to execute, think ahead. I mean, it's a digitally connected world today. You can see what is happening, which all brands are existing in the market that you're wanting to target, what is happening on trends. what are the colors which are doing, what are my strengths, what are the material changes that are happening, you know, from a sustainable lens and other aspects. So how can you innovate before your customer comes back asking for something? That is the key. That is the key. And these are very, very interesting times where India is really in a favorable place from the world standpoint. So point is that we should be capturing this opportunity. It may or may not continue to be there. So this is the time that you put your best foot forward and combine all your operational design, you know, all kinds of skills and put forward a line which is globally viable, right? You could be making a brand within India out of it. You could be targeting a specific customer set in Europe or in Americas or Batado himself, you know. So depends on what you're doing, but start with a very clear and focused objective is what Gunnar is saying. Do not go all out trying to replicate and copying all sorts of things going around in the world from Pinterest. Be innovative and develop skills and develop materials, technologies, everything.
Can I add just a few things that, you know, we were discussing and that also related what he said? You know, from my experience, every time that, you know, that I speak with younger companies here, not established companies, because, you know, here in India I work with established companies and I work also with small family-run businesses. It's that, you know, sometimes they don't think that they can aim to also niche markets. You know, it's not important always to aim, you know, to big clients. You know, there are also niche markets that are very profitable, and I'm the proof of it because, you know, my company, it doesn't aim, you know, to big clients. You know, I don't aim to Zara, let's say, or to IKEA. I work like with anthropology, but with a niche, for example, not creating special collections for them. But because, you know, my price point, you know, the products and everything, sometimes for them it's too expensive, and I get it, you know, they have their own. But, you know, it's, don't be attracted for what other companies do. If your neighbor sells to Zara Home, it doesn't mean you have to. You know, you can aim to other markets that are very profitable too. And that's also a good opportunity for you. There are probably more opportunity in the niche market than in the big market for you. And then also, the other thing is, you know, related to what Ashish was saying, is related to reliability and everything. You know, you have to be the face of your brand. That is also very important. You know, it's important that when you have a story to tell, this has to be believable. You know, lying doesn't bring anywhere. You know, when people know me, they know that what I say is true. You know, if they know that, you know, and also that makes me reliable when I sell something. Because, you know, they know that if I say that that product is made in Italy, it's made in Italy. If I say India, it's made in India. And I don't care if it's where it's made in, because I've been asked, you know, being Italian, you know, and we are very proud of made in Italy, like made in France or whatever, like if, you know, we are the best in the world. We are not. You know, there are like, for me, it's important, you know, to find the good. When they ask me, you know, why do I produce also abroad? And I say, first of all, because there are some things that can only be produced abroad, because there are skills that doesn't belong to us. And so I'm looking for the skill. I'm not looking for the ethnicity. I don't care where it's made. I'm looking for, you know, somebody who is capable to make it the way I want it to be made. And then the last thing, sorry, because, you know, there are a few things that it's the mistakes that we were telling. You know, we all make mistakes, you know, and that we have to accept them. We make a product that doesn't work. We make, you know, the wrong decisions and everything. You know, it doesn't, it happens and you move forward, you know. It's, you know, it doesn't should affect you very much. It's something that we do, and you know, when you run a business, it's normal. But also, I want just to rely about, you know, what Gunnar was saying. It's also important that, you know, here in India, I get a lot of inspiration. I'm not lying, because, you know, I travel around the country when I can. Not this time, because, you know, I have to run back. But, you know, and for me, being a colorful brand, you know, here it's like paradise, because everything is so colorful. So I get a lot of inspiration. Then I make it my own way, you know. I don't want to do, because I don't want to do Indian product. But, you know, for an Indian-based brand, it can also be interesting to work on the roots. You know, you have nice brands. I'm thinking about Good Earth, for example.
They made a wonderful products based on Indian heritage. So you can do a lot. And Indian heritage at the moment can be very popular in the rest of the world. So you have this big opportunity, just take it. That's all.
I absolutely agree with him because we are lucky to have handmade product, which today is more popular in the market. The consumers want it, the young people want it. They don't want to have a bad climate effect on their children. So I think we are at the right spot at the right time to make in India the best brand, along with Made in Italy and Made in France.
Absolutely, absolutely. Gunnar, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
I think we have wrapped it up very well. Believe in what you're doing, put passion in there, and don't be afraid of being different or serving to a niche market. As long as you believe in it, I think there's a good opportunity to go for it.
You have a question in the audience? Yes.
Hi, sorry, is that too loud? Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, all accomplished, all of you. Great to see you.
You need to be louder.
Okay, is that loud enough?
Okay.
All right, see, what you're saying, the gentleman there, it's beautiful in terms of making original stuff. But the thing is, I don't know if this is the place to address it, but there's something called the buying agency. I know you've brought those in to, takes a lot of trouble off your head, manage the professional aspects. But then if you want to really build stuff that you really want, you need to interact with the manufacturer. Now that is being curbed because of the agency. It's a good thing, but as far as the designing is concerned, interact with the manufacturer. Right? That's what you need to do. See, I can give you an example of one of my clients that I spoke to. I said, see, for years, our art, I'm from Moradabad, our art is over 600 years old, all right? And we can only think so far. We can think according to our subcontinent, our sense of design. If you want what you want, you need to talk to us, right? So your designers or you yourselves need to interact with the people who are going to do your work. Don't leave it to the agency. Let the professional stuff be with the agency, but talk
I
to
don't
the
deal
people.
with an agency. I go straight to the manufacturer.
I'm speaking generally. I'm speaking generally.
In general. Yeah, but I
in
mean...
general, that's what's become the trend.
But from the manufacturer point of view, I can tell, from a brand owner perspective, I also rely a lot on my manufacturers. Because, they know better than me. I can come with an idea, and it happened already, that I wanted a product, and they told me this is not possible to make, because probably the material or whatever it is not, I thought that it was possible and not. So, of course, talking with the manufacturer is one of the most important things to do. But also from the manufacturer point of view, you also can share ideas with the brands, they come to you. I mean, the manufacturer, from my point of view, doesn't have to be just like a passive person where you go and you say, make this for me. The manufacturer can also say, I would do this way, what do you think about it? Because it can be also sharing, because
that's what I'm saying. See, in terms of ideas, we can think Orient, we can think the Indian subcontinent, but we can't think the West.
Yeah,
you can think
true.
the West because you live that. So it's a sharing of ideas that is important to develop what you need for the market where you want to sell it.
And which is where he was mentioning that he works with the manufacturers directly, and there's a lot of partnerships.
That's one particular person. I'm talking in general. That's a great job. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank
so hopefully that will inspire more people here today.
I hope so.
Yes.
We all hope so, actually.
Yes, that's true.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Actually, I think we learn a lot from our karigars. We learn a lot from our skilled carpenters. We learn a lot from our manufacturers because they actually know the product. They know what are the pitfalls, what are the quality issues, what is going to happen when it goes for 3 months in the container and the humidity is going to spoil the finishes. That's where we have to come to. That is the perfection we need. Let's work on it.
True. Thank you for saying that.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Thank you all the panelists. It's been a pleasure, a complete delight exchanging all these notes. To the audience, I believe there has been a lot of learning which has been shared, from very adventurous brand building to completely new sustainable innovations to a view on the international markets or what customers are looking for. So I hope you all feel benefited, and I keep repeating in every forum that I am that this is the time for India. Make in India, celebrate India, consume in India. We have it all. So learn from the best in the world, but invest in your own resources, talent pools, technologies, and be ethical in your commitments, because that is something that we all were discussing. It's a little difficult because Indian factories are comparatively less reliable. So if you do a lot of investments in the right product, then also hold up your commitments onto deliveries, and works well for everyone. So thank you all. Thank you so much.
So thank you to all our panelists for that truly enriching session. Your insights have beautifully captured the essence of this session, that every product should have a story, and how that story, even told, when told with authenticity, creativity, passion, as Gunnar said, vision, innovation, backed with research, can really transform a maker into a memorable brand. Thanks especially to the moderator, Aarti Roy, for steering this session with such clarity and depth, and to our wonderful panel, Gunnar, Anupama Singh Ji, Bertrando Di Renzo, and Ashish Agra, for sharing their expertise, inspiration, and global perspectives. And of course, the audience also. But we'd like to present mementos to all our accomplished speakers. It's a pleasure to have amongst us the chairman of EPCH, Dr. Neeraj Khanna. I request him, along with Rajesh Rawatji, our additional executive director, to present mementos to our panelists. We begin with Gunnar. Gunnar, please step forward. A memento for Gunnar. Anupama Singh Ji. Bertrando. Ashish Tagra. And last but not the least, Aarti Roy. Let's have a group photo with all of you. And with that, we conclude the knowledge sessions of the third day of the 60th edition of IHGF Delhi Fair, organized by EPCH. Tomorrow, on the fourth day, we'll meet you again. Thank you. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.